This is Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Presented by Taco Cabana.
Gustafson Stadium, the backdrop tonight of Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. And believe it or not, we've got district play already underway tonight. It's Brandeis and Stevens live from Gustafson Stadium. Good evening, everybody. I'm Don Harris, along with my broadcast partner, Chuck McIntyre. Welcome to Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Taco Cabana. And Chuck, Northside not wasting any time getting right into district play, and two teams that are already 1-0.
Gotta like that. And as we look at the 28 6A standings, Don, almost everybody in their district came away a winner in week one. And then at the bottom, Brennan, Clark, and Holmes all involved in very tight games. This is going to be a wild and woolly race. There is no zone play. Every one of these teams is going to see each other let the best man win.
Brandeis coming off a big win over a very good Johnson team in week one, and the Broncos are led by a sophomore quarterback, and Jordan Battle's already putting up big numbers.
Incredible week one for this guy as he got his first varsity start, and from what the coaches tell me, he's already getting looks to play at the next level, even as a sophomore. Clearly, this young man's feet set him apart right now, but boy, you can't ask for a better start to your high school career than Jordan Battles had last week.
The Stevens defense will try to slow him down. They only gave up 7 points to Bernie Champion a week ago, and one of the guys trying to do that will be their senior defensive lineman, Clay Englehart.
You know, this is a very young Stevens ball club, Don, and this young man is going to be one of their quarterbacks on defense. They have a very stout but pretty much a young defensive line, but it's going to start and end with Clay Englehart getting guys in the right spot. This guy's a playmaker, and they need a big game out of him tonight.
All right, last week we had a lighting delay, not to be confused with a lightning delay. Hopefully the weather stays clear. Let's go down for our countywide service company game time weather, and Mike Hernandez. Mike?
Yeah, so this week, totally different. We were sitting at 97 degrees at game time last week, and right now we're at 77 degrees. So we did have some showers and some thunderstorms roll through nearby about an hour and a half ago. As a matter of fact, the lightning sensors were going off till about an hour ago, and everything's been cleared. The radar is looking good. I don't think we're going to see any more activity. We may see a sprinkle or two of some leftovers, but that's going to be about it. And the temperatures, as I said, mid-70s, some light winds. Just going to be a great night for football, and totally different than where we typically are this, when we're starting the middle of September here.
All right, Mike, it better be good weather or we dock your pay. Keep the lightning away. Let's play football. When we come back, we've got our keys to the game. We'll size up this matchup right after this.
You're watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Taco Cabana.
And welcome back to Gustafson Stadium, where tonight we've got district play between Brandeis and Stevens. Right now it is time for our keys to the game. We kick it off with the Brandeis Broncos. Chuck?
For David Branscom's team, well, first thing they want to do is get some turnovers. They want to also protect the ball on offense. And they not only want to execute, Don, they want to execute at a very high level with some high energy.
We asked David Branscom, what do you got to do to win tonight?
Well, I think we've got to control the turnover battle, and we've got to make sure that we don't turn the ball over, which we did a nice job of last week, and we've got to be able to create turnovers and get population to the football in an effort to do that. And then I think we've got to make sure that we understand great teams notoriously make a huge jump from game one to game two, and that's been the expectation we put on these kids all week. Regardless of our opponent, we've got to make sure that we start fast, something we didn't do last week, and it took us till halftime to really come together and be the team that we'd worked so hard to be. So we've got to show that we can do that to be a good football team tonight versus a good opponent.
Chuck, these Stephen Falcons look pretty good in week one as well. What are their keys tonight?
Yeah, Conrad Hernandez's squad coming off a big win over Bernie Champion. They want to be able to run the ball tonight and then make sure that they are very sound defensively, trying to stop Jordan Battles. And then lastly, cut last week's mistakes in half. They really feel like if they're to beat a quality team like Brandeis tonight, they've got to be even better than they were a week ago.
And we asked Conrad Hernandez for his thoughts going into tonight's game.
Well, it starts with us just making sure that we stick to our game plan. That's one. We got to run the ball. We got to be efficient running the ball and try to control the clock to keep Brandeis off the field, because they're pretty efficient offensively and they can score pretty quickly, very explosive. That's going to be a huge key. And again, just try to create some turnovers like we did last week, and we'll be in good shape.
We're getting closer to kickoff. When we come back, we'll hear from that Stevens band playing our national anthem, and we'll kick it off. Hear from Gus on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Roselle Gardens. You're watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Taco Cabana.
Welcome back to Gustafson Stadium, everybody. The Stevens Falcons are taking the field, and here come the Brandeis Broncos. And we're about ready for kickoff of a big 28-6A district battle. That's right, it's only week 2, but already they're in district play here at the Northside District. We're at Gustafson Stadium, where the weather is holding off. We're hoping to have a great game. Both of these teams coming off wins last week. Brandeis, a bit of a surprise with their win over Johnson, who was ranked 4th in our TNL Top 10 coming in. Didn't have a great first half, but they came on in the second half to score 3 touchdowns to beat the Jaguars. And Chuck, I don't know, I wasn't underestimating Brandeis, but that caught me off guard, a little bit of a surprise.
Well, I think it was natural, Don. I mean, you look at the youthfulness and how many young guys are actually playing on this Brandeis squad, but to come out and really dominate the way they did, I think they got everybody's attention pretty quickly. And, talking to Coach Branscombe this week, he's coached a lot of years, and he said, I'm enjoying this group as much as I've enjoyed any group that I've ever coached. He really likes the youthfulness of this group and how willing they are to be coached. They all like each other, and this is a very bonded group for being as young as they are, but they came out, really lit it up a week ago, and they're going to be poised to see what they can do tonight.
All right, let's get this thing going. Time for our national anthem. Let's go down to the PA address announcer, Tom Kaluza.
Now at midfield is the color guard from the Stevens High School, Texas 20,051st Air Force Junior ROTC color guard. Commanding the guard and carrying the American flag is Cadet Major Brianna Resendez. Carrying the Texas flag is Cadet Captain Damian Villarreal. The right guard is Cadet First Lieutenant Karina Gonzalez. The left guard is Cadet First Lieutenant Christopher Sauceda. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats to honor America and the men and women serving in our armed forces throughout the world. The national anthem tonight will be sung by the Stevens Choir under the direction of Mr. Michael Murphy and Miss Sarah Stevens.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, with
Thanks for watching the Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights pregame show. Stay tuned for tonight's first half kickoff.
Welcome back to Gustafson Stadium. Brandeis won the flip. They have deferred. And so they will kick to the Stevens Falcons, who will have the ball first as we get ready for our tonight's first half kickoff, which is sponsored by HEB. The Falcons will send back Eli Wilkinson Alexander deep. He's joined by Cole Gonzalez and Cameron Cantu. And doing the kicking is Xavier Lopez for Brandeis.
Let's get it on.
We're ready to play some
starts
football
tonight.
Lopez's kick is a short one. It is taken at the 19 and up the sideline and then pushed out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. It's Cameron Cantu, and that's why Stevens will have the football right there to start it.
We'll take a look at the Stevens offense early, led by junior quarterback Josh Ramirez, coming off a big week last week. 10 of 15 through the air. Got a touchdown pass in that game as well. Also ran for one, but this young man, very mature and very efficient.
He's got big, tall Clarence Lee in the backfield with him, number 14, who carried the ball for 128 yards last week. And already they're going to figure out the spot. Brandeis was offsides there. And so it'll be 1st and 5. It's our kielbasa smoked meat first down. Ramirez joined by Lee. He gives it to him, and Lee's got about 4. That'll set up 2nd down. Take a look at the offensive starters for the Stevens Falcons. Up front, it's Christopher Bowling, Matthew Benitez, Richard Rodriguez, Michael Valdez, and Nathan Munoz, the big guys up front. Again, Lee ran for over 120 yards a week ago. Joel Garza's the tight end. And Joshua Lopez got lots of touches last week. 2 rushes for 60 yards, averaging 30 yards a carry. 2nd down and 5, and he'll fire it out there, and it's caught right at the 50-yard line. Santiago Martinez, tackled by Austin Garcia, but not before he's got a kielbasa smoked meat first down at midfield.
Yeah, Santiago had a catch last week for 5 yards and already up that this week. Good job coming back for that football, moving the chains for his squad here early on the first drive of the game.
Ramirez checking the call with his coaches. On 1st down, Lee moves to the other side. He'll hand it to Lee on the sweep. Lee's got a lot of room and he's upended. Not before he picks up about 8 yards. Aiden Ennis Rodriguez with the tackle as we take a look at the defensive starters for Brandeis. Up front, Christopher Garza, Philip Fernandez, Alex Trevino, Justin Lipe, Mark Lara. What a great story there. And Jay Nova Rangel goes both ways for Brandt. He had a great game on offense last year as well. Last week, rather.
See what a big man Clarence Lee is at running back. He just dwarfs the rest of his offensive teammates.
They hand it to him. He's got the 1st down and he bounces it all the way to the Brandeis 35. Good blocking up front by the Stevens big guys. And Brent Malone was there to bring him down.
Yeah, Clarence Lee is a young man that's getting a lot of college looks, and it's interesting because he is a returning letterman, but you know, he didn't get a lot of touches last year because he was running behind Dorian Littlejohn last year, and he's playing at A&M Kingsville. So this is a young man that's getting a lot of tape together, and he's going to make somebody very happy at the next level.
Built more like a receiver than a running back, but you can see his skills, and they fire it out there to the left side, and it's complete for another 1st down. That one caught by Santiago Martinez.
Well, Josh Ramirez, you can already tell how poised he is at quarterback. Look where his eyes take him. Right down the field. You know, a lot of these young quarterbacks are always looking for the guys underneath, but started out left and found his main guy there and picked up another first down.
Another Kielbasa smoke meat first down as the ball's on the ground, and see who's got it. I think Stevens fell back on it, and they did. That's Joel Garza, who was attentive enough to fall on the football, save the series for the time being.
Well, this Brandeis defensive line is very active, and you know, linebackers coming in and making some plays and cleaning up the meat there, but good job pursuing to the football and almost causing an early turnover to get their team back the football.
Ramirez has Josh Lopez and Gabriel Flores split to his right. Martinez to his left. And he's got Lee in the backfield with him. Straight drop, pressured, and now he's going to take off. Now he fires, he's got a man, and it's caught for another first down. Martinez again.
Well, how did he get his feet in? Mercy.
Call it a first down.
Let's take a look. Really great play by Josh. First of all, rolling to his left, not an easy thing to do, and then throw the ball right on the button. Juggled, did he get his foot in? Sure looked like he did.
And he's inside the Baptist Emergency Hospital red zone. Fires another route. That one's caught, and that's going to be a touchdown. Stevens, Gabe Flores, using the right and the left side, and they just picked him apart all the way downfield, did Josh Ramirez.
Outstanding drive to start this ball game, and Josh Ramirez nothing but perfect on that opening drive. Comes out here, looks to his right, and Gabe is wide open, and he does the rest. Taking it in the last 4 yards, paying for it, but it's worth it when you can come up with the 6.
Hold is down, the kick is up, and it is good, and the Stevens Falcons strike first. They lead the Brandeis Broncos 7-0 here at Gustafson Stadium. Brandeis will have it when we come back with their chance to match. Welcome back to Gustafson Stadium, where the Stevens Falcons just moved right down the field on an 8-play, 71-yard drive. And Josh Ramirez, very impressive, leading the Falcons down the field.
Yeah, got some good running plays, and obviously when you have a drive like that, especially to start the game, and talk about one team inflicting some pain on the other to start. Hey, how about the guys up front? Tapia Fisher, Sosa Martinez, Mati, and Lopez. Those fellas did an amazing job protecting their quarterback and giving him some really clean lanes in which to throw.
Back to receive the kick here for Brandeis is Frank Wilson and also Joshua Suarez. And if the name sounds familiar, that is the son of UTSA coach Frank Wilson. As Michael Pena kicks it off. Will be taken by the up man at about the 18. He's got some running room across the 30 to the 32-yard line, and that was Mark Lara.
Our man, Mark Lara. Everybody's man, Mark Lara.
Great story that we had a year ago. In fact, the video was everywhere with him in a wheelchair. What a long way he's come.
You take a look at Jordan Battles. Again, can't say enough about the job this young man did, making his first varsity start. And obviously his feet set him apart, but this young guy really had a whale of a ball game a week ago to start his varsity career.
First snap is a keep by Battles, and he's going nowhere as that Stevens defensive front keeps him from even getting back to the line of scrimmage. Big Manuel Martinez there, one of the first there. Yeah. Also Clay Engelhart, who we profiled pregame.
Yeah, that's exactly what Stevens wanted to do this week. That's one of the biggest keys to this ball game for them on the defensive side. You have got to limit what Battles can do with his feet, and after one play, Stevens was equal to the task.
3 receivers this side. They throw over to the near side. He's got a block and across the 40 down to about the 43-yard line. is Eli Wilkinson Alexander. It's Brandon Pake on the catch. Take a look at the starting lineups. Big Alec Martinez anchoring that line, and Oscar Cardenas, the tight end, big number 94. You can see his size headed to UTSA, already committed there. They throw it back to Pake again, run the same play, breaks another tackle, and he's got about 6 more down to the 49.
Yeah, and you know you've been blocked when Oscar Cardenas, number 94, blocks you. It's the second play in a row. He's just like trying to go through a wall.
Put 94 out there out front and let him block, and Pake has run it twice in a row for good yardage. 2nd down and 4. Firing deep and over the middle, and that one's incomplete. Good coverage. Just a little high for the intended receiver, who's a little slow getting up. Again, that's Pake. He's targeted 3 times here in the 3 plays in a row.
Well, there's nothing wrong with Pake's courage. That's for sure. You go over the middle and have to go up high for a ball, you know more than likely you're going to pay the price for it, and hopefully he'll be able to return, but he took quite a shot.
All right, so that'll set up 3rd down and about 4. As Brandeis tries to get in the proper formation. Battles in the shotgun. Turns and hands it off, and good enough for another Kielbasa 1st down is Brent Malone, who had a big week last week. 88 yards on 14 carries and a touchdown, and he's got a 1st down here in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, you talk about Brent Malone. Brent Malone does a little bit of everything. May have even driven one of the buses over here. I mean, he's going to play some linebacker for you, and he absolutely destroys books in the classroom, too. This guy's going to be playing at Harvard.
Wow. First down and 10. A Kielbasa smoke meat 1st down as Battles runs a little option this way. Pitches it. Good open field running there. Pushed out of bounds. Joshua Suarez with a nice run. Kyron Brown was there to push him out of bounds, but not before a 12-yard pickup.
Yep, got some good offensive line play here again, and then what a really nice job by Battles pitching it at the last second. Springs his runner for a nice sizable gain on the play.
Coming back, got a flag on the field. So we're going to have holding. That'll put the ball back near the 46-yard line. 1st down and 11.
Very nice possession, 1st and 12.
1st and 12, rather. Battles wants to go deep, has a man, good coverage. Is that ball caught? It is. Wow, what a grab by Brock Gallegos. What a throw. And good coverage, too.
All the above is right. I mean, this is a dime by Battles. Right on the money, got 2 feet in, and again, coverage not bad down there. Even if you turn around and look for the ball, there's not a whole lot you could do with that as a defender.
Fires again, touchdown, Cardenas. The future Roadrunner gets on the board, and just like that, Brandeis marches down the field and are an extra point away from tying this thing up.
And just like that, we've got a track meet here at Gus. Again, Battles looking the part. Rolling, great feet, squares his shoulders, throws a strike. And Big O gets big 6.
Xavier Lopez on to try the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good, and we are all tied up. What a start to this one on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Well, Stevens will have their turn to match again right after this. Welcome back to Gustafson Stadium. Good one, offensively anyway, to start this one out. Brandeis and Stevens, both very impressive drives, mostly through the air. Both teams can run it and throw it, and the defenses are going to have to figure out this one. Otherwise, we're going to be in a 49-42 ball game, which is fine with us, right, Chuck?
Oh, yeah, no question. Got to like the offensive explosion that we've seen from both squads early, obviously. But yeah, not what we were expecting. I mean, both teams coming out, chucking and ducking and moving right down the field.
There's Eli Wilkinson Alexander back deep. They rarely kick it deep in high school football these days. And here's another one of these pooch kicks that'll land right at about the 27. Flags will fly, will go out of bounds. And we'll go down to the sidelines, and Mike Hernandez. Mike?
I was ready to catch that ball. I just saying. I'm joined by Russ Bookbinder, the president and CEO of San Antonio Sports. How you doing? And this is Mike Malo, and he is the vice president of marketing for Methodist Healthcare. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So we're talking about something called Beyond the Game. And of course, we had it last year, and it was very successful. Tell us, for the folks at home don't know what this is, tell us about this.
Well, Beyond the Game, and thank you, Methodist, for being with us this year, is a platform for middle school and high school students to upload narratives, pictures of things they do in the community that model the values that we know our coaches are teaching them every day. So respect and integrity, caring, sportsmanship, service. So those kids upload videos. We put it on the air in TNL, and it's on the morning shows and Don and Chuck shows. So it's a great way to recognize these kids for what they do. And we'll pick 4 and bring them to the All-Star game in January as well.
Yeah, so how do we get involved in it? How do they send that in?
Go to sanantoniosports.org, look for the logo, click on it, upload your pictures and your narratives.
All right, great. Thank you, Russ. I appreciate it. And Mike, tell us why Methodist Healthcare has gotten involved in this.
Well, the purpose and the mission of the program and serving the community and giving back to the community, that's all what Methodist is all about. You know, we're all about serving humanity and giving back to the community, and so it aligns perfectly with our mission as a hospital company. And you know, there's a lot of really good things that these youth groups are doing and giving back and serving the community through these projects, and it's a great way to recognize that.
Well, we thank you for your involvement, and you're working with a great organization, both of y'all together. I know we're going to accomplish some great things. Interception, guys, it happens every time. Back to you.
Yeah, Mike, and Austin Garcia with the Oski right there. That's his 3rd pick of the season in just less than 2 weeks, really 5 quarters. He had 2 last week, including a 40-yard pick 6. This was overshot, and he's right there, right place, right time. But Chuck, 3 picks in 5 quarters, not a bad start to the season for that young man.
And they've got a lot of young guys on this defense, and he's one of them, but they're super excited about what they've got in some of these young guys. They're all wise beyond their years, and they can play.
Battles has some room up the middle. He's dragged down. Good individual pursuit by 99, Josh Gonzalez. Otherwise, that would have been a 20 or 30-yard pickup on the ground.
Well, you know, we're giving a lot of love to these offensive lines, and we should, because they've done the job here early. But, you know, we take a look at what's going on here for Brandeis, and might have a free play here.
Free play, another dart to the outside, and again, it's right on the money, but incomplete and intended for Paik. And again, a nice ball, but incomplete, but it doesn't matter. It's a free play, as Stevens was offsides.
Defense. In the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Replay the down.
I was going to give some love to the Stevens Falcons offensive linemen across the board. Martinez, Lopez, Ramirez, Lee, and Prouty. Those guys doing a good job blocking too, but let's take a look at the end of this. Well thrown ball right there, and Cameron Rudolph doing a nice job, at least trying to stick his hands in there and try to disrupt what was going on. End resulted incomplete.
2nd and 5. Little option pitch. Malone's got it. He's got some room. He's got 9 yards, or about 7 yards. He'll be close to the first down, but not enough to pick it up. Brent Malone, another big kid. We're going to have a timeout on the field, injury timeout, as Josh Gonzalez is down for Stevens.
We talk about all these young guys that are playing for Brandeis, but Stevens has got some young fellas too. This young man, Joshua Gonzalez, just a sophomore as well.
Conrad Hernandez out there to check on him. And while they attend to him, we'll take a break. We'll come back in a good ball game, tied up 7-7 with Brandeis on the move. Hey, the Alamo Real Estate Brokers Smile Cam was out at the Brandeis Pep Rally this week as the Broncos were fired up to play the Stevens Falcons. Smile Cam brought to you by Alamo Real Estate Brokers, leading you home. And Josh walked off with the help of a couple of trainers. It looked like he was favoring his left leg. Wish him the best.
Yeah, I mean, because that's a big blow for Stevens. It's a young man that they kind of move around a little bit. He not only plays defensive line, but he goes on some offense too when they run their heavy set. So taking off his shoe on the left side, so hopefully everything's okay. We're certainly hoping for the best there.
Sets up 3rd down and a long one. Malone's going to have the first down, and Moore stumbles forward to the 30. Ball's on the ground, but it was already down. Good enough for a kielbasa smoke meat first down. And I'll tell you what, Brent Malone is not somebody you want to tackle head on. I mean, you can see that young man is big, strong football player.
Yeah, goes both ways, plays linebacker. That's his primary spot. But they do running back by committee at Brandeis. But certainly Brent Malone is not only got the physique to do both ways, but he's got the mental capacity to do it as well. They really like him as a football player.
Battle's just a sophomore, also a big kid as he hands to Malone. Malone up the middle, watch out. Malone cuts back to the 10, inside the 10, down to about the 8-yard line. Eli Wilkinson Alexander finally brings him down, but he's inside the Baptist Emergency Center or Hospital red zone. Gain of 22, and he's got a kielbasa smoked meat first down.
Just gotta like the way that he runs the football. I mean, he runs to daylight, obviously, but you know, good cut, stuck his leg in the ground, made a move, and got even more yards.
Battles was looking for Cardenas now for the back of the end zone. It's incomplete. Looking for Pake. Good coverage there by Kyron Brown.
Kyron Brown doing a really good job rolling with that play as it moved to the right and staying with the receiver all the way. Really good job by the quarterback, keeping his eyes downfield. But at the end, Kyron Brown was there to knock it away. Outstanding defensive play there on the back end.
2nd and goal for the Broncos. 2 backs. Back there with Battles. Turns and hands. And another good job by that defense as Kristen Medina only picks up a couple. Again, it's Eli Wilkinson Alexander on the tackle.
This is a big early series here for Stevens to try to see if they can get the ball back for their offense, or at least try to hold them to a field goal here on 3rd and goal. I mean, your offense kind of puts you in a bind, backs you up a little bit. Here you are, you forced a 3rd down situation and a chance to possibly get off the field here on 3rd down.
3rd down and goal. And we've got a flag.
Brandeis able to get a timeout before they threw the flag?
Timeout was called before flag was thrown for 12 men on the field. Timeout, Brandeis.
All right, so they had too many guys out there, but Branscombe was quicker than the official, so he avoids the penalty there on 3rd down. As we tell you about our CPS Energy Cheer Squad, you can register your squad. The San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge, powered by CPS Energy. It's already underway. Register your team to win a $1,500 cash grant, cheer at the Army All-American Bowl, or the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game in the Dome on January 5th. Visit CW35.com today for all the details. The deadline to register your team is October the 3rd. One of these lucky cheer squads. 4 squads are going to go to the Dome. And then the grants will be awarded as well. So it's a voting thing, whoever gets the most votes. So vote for your favorite cheer squad. Jordan Battles and company on 3rd and goal. Rolls to his right, throws back left for Peck. He's got a block and he's got a touchdown. Oh, what a well-designed play for the Brandeis Broncos.
Indeed. You have everything going towards the right. Turns out it was all window dressing. They set him up and then sucker punched him and threw it back to the left side. Had a runner in motion out to the right. Battles rolls to the right, then squares his feet, throws back left, gets a little chip block there to Pake. And a big play on 3rd down to convert points on the drive.
One key block, and Payder, the extra point, is up, and it is good by Xavier Lopez, and Brandeis goes in front 14-7. Chuck, very impressed with these young quarterbacks. His Battles is only a sophomore. I tell you what, we're going to be calling his name a lot in the next 3 seasons.
Oh, yeah, and then just think about what they've got up front. I mean, they've got one senior on this offensive line. So, as good as this Brandeis team is, and the pain and punishment that they're going to inflict in this district this year, you can bet they're going to be well-tooled going forward here. And again, it just speaks to the level of player that they got, the youthfulness, obviously, but the maturity level. I mean, you don't start these kids if you don't think they can handle it mentally, too. So you can see why Coach Branscombe likes the group that he has.
Yeah, Battles carries himself like a senior already. What an athlete. Of course, he's got a good bloodline. His cousin Jalen Battles was at Madison, both an excellent baseball pitcher and receiver last year that we had on TNL, who's playing baseball at McLennan Community College in Waco.
Yeah, he played basketball too.
Yeah, remember there was a game we called on TNL where he had just come from his basketball game, or was it the All-Star game? I think he played in the San Antonio Sports All-Star game right after playing in a basketball game.
Yeah, and then immediately following that, they flew him out and played him in the World Series. Look out!
Big time kick return by this Eli Wilkinson Alexander all the way out to midfield.
You're telling me, I mean, right up the gut, too. Not afraid of contact. You have to do more than arm tackle that guy.
Let's go down to the sidelines. Mike Hernandez and our good friend Cleto.
Well, what a great game, right, Cleto? I mean, this is a lot of action. We're not even into the second quarter yet.
I'm just glad football's back.
I know,
really
me too,
am.
me too. So you have the crew, and you're the man for the crew. Tell us about that first, and I know you got a lot to talk about.
Well, the crew is a loyalty club. We want to invite all our viewers to go ahead and be part of the crew. And there's a way to do that. All you have to do is just go on and text the crew, crew, C-R-E-W, 44332. And again, crew, 44332. And what it is we're going to be giving out all kinds of prizes this whole season and just kind of give all kinds of discounts and let people know about different kinds of opportunities that they have a chance to win. Right now, we got a chance for 2 to win a trip to go to LA to see the premiere of NBC's This Is Us.
Wow.
It's a pretty neat. You go on the lot and it's a round trip, airfare, hotel, the whole 9. They set you up and it's really nice. I mean, you get a chance to be in there and see the very first premiere of This Is Us.
You ever thought about wanting to act? I mean, like, really?
I took drama for a week and, until the teacher said, no, you're comedy, you might want to stick to that. So drama was not my thing. I always made a joke. I would say the drama, the line, like it was a punchline. To be or not to be. To be and not to be,
yeah, not to be. How about to be? Okay. Thanks, Cleto. It's always a pleasure.
You got it.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Cleto. Hey, if we're going to have Cleto on the sidelines talking about the crew, at least we could have him do some of his original material. A couple of jokes every week. 3rd down and short for Stevens. They hand it to Lee. He's got the first down and a lot more as he drags about 6 tacklers all the way down to near the 36-yard line. Tell you what, Clarence Lee's an impressive running back.
Indeed. Tough runner, but I'm not surprised. That's a tough young man through and through.
Very tall for that position. Again, looks more like a receiver, but doesn't have that low center of gravity. But I tell you what, he's got a good burst and he's tough. They fake it to him, and this Brandeis defense just eats up. Josh Ramirez on that play. Justin Light, the first one there, and a loss on the play of about 5.
He had company. There were a lot of guys that were in on that. You know, if you're going to do zone read stuff, you got to have multiple defenders swarm to the football, and a little party in the backfield on that one, snuffing that out immediately.
Sets up 2nd down and 14. And Ramirez wants to throw, goes deep, it's overshot again. Speaking of Josh Ramirez, we have a Sprouts player profile. The senior has a 94 GPA. He's a 2-year letterman, a National Honor Society member, Athletic Leadership Council, and he volunteers with both the Food Bank and Special Olympics. Fine young men there.
Yeah, you know, we sent our cameras out this week to do a little preview action of the Stevens Brandeis tilt, and our photographer Jack Green always does a good job scouring the sound for interviews, but this young man, you could tell, I mean, just a really thoughtful kid, gave really good answers on TV, and you can tell why he's the quarterback and the leader of this football team.
Deep drop, fires over the middle, and a nice burst of speed there by Josh Lopez, short of the 1st down.
Yeah, another nice play design right there, a little bubble screen. There you see as they set it up, got some guys pulling out there towards the right. Got some good blocks and cut it back inside, and able to eat up the loss on the previous play. So we'll see what they do here on 4th and 6, and it looks like they're going.
Go for it zone there, right at the 33-yard line. Kind of a no-brainer. Too far to kick, too short to punt. Ramirez fires over the middle. He's got a man and connected with him, and it's caught by Gabe Flores.
What a great
short, but yeah, he made a great catch by going down around the knees to get it.
Yeah, and then Josh, look at this clean pocket. Great job by the fellas out front, and really put it in the only place that he could. But what an outstanding route there by Gabriel Flores. We take another look.
20-yard gain into the Baptist Emergency Hospital red zone.
Huge play on 4th down, obviously, to extend the drive.
1st and 10. Lee's got it. Lee's got the 5, and Lee's going to score. Touchdown, Stevens, Clarence Lee.
Well, you're happy for that young man. What a leader on this team, and what a ball player. It's a great story, Don. I mean, this young man's mom died when he was in middle school, and he's been raised by his sister. And the coaching staff just can't say enough good things about this guy. He's a leader in the classroom, an outstanding student, leader with his football team. Yeah, what a role model for everybody.
The kick is up and good, and we're tied again. Brandeis and Stevens knotted at 14. What a first quarter as we get down to the last 16 seconds.
Well, you could see why Clarence Lee had such a big week a week ago. I mean, you're going to have to get more than one guy on this guy to bring him down. I mean, he's just, look at the strength.
Chuck, you said that he was getting some looks at the next level. What are we talking about? Are we talking Division I looks or you know, Division II or III?
I think right now, you know, he's getting looks because, again, you know, last year he didn't get a lot of touches because of the guy that he was playing in front of. So, you know, now this is his team kind of in the sense that he's going to be running the football. So he's got a lot more tape. So, you know, as long as he keeps putting up numbers like that, there's going to be a lot of people, more than right now, that are looking at him.
Kind of a late bloomer on the radar of these college recruiters, but in 2 weeks, he's putting up some decent numbers.
Yeah, again, I mean, when you're running behind a guy like Dorian Littlejohn that's playing at the next level already, you know, sometimes you just have to wait your turn. And he's been patient, and again, if you're a college team looking for a guy that can run the football or be a football player, and then you think about all the other challenges as that young man that's had, you know, the things that he's had to overcome. I mean, man, put that guy on my squad tomorrow.
There's Suarez from the 10, picks up a block and does a nice job of putting his nose down and getting near the 30-yard line. Let's take a look at our Week 2 version of the TNL Top 10. Not a lot of changes up at the top. Johnson fell out after losing to this Brandeis squad, but it's Judson O'Connor and Reagan, the top 3. Brandeis in at number 4. Southwest, Clemens, and Warren. Smithson Valley lost to a very good Midland Lee team, so they dropped from number 2 to number 8. Steele also lost in Week 1. They don't fall out of the top 10, and Churchill beat Clark in the Gucci Bowl to move in to the top 10 at number 10.
Yeah, and you can guarantee that if Stevens wins this ball game tonight, they're going to be vaulting in there as well. I mean, they've been very impressive to start this football game, and you had the 1 turnover so far, but can't ask for a better first quarter of football if you ask me.
How about Coach Molesky's squad? O'Connor pulling up the upset over Steele again, coming off that great season last year where they had all of those seniors and that long playoff run, the best run in school history to O'Connor. They don't miss a beat, come right back and start Week 1 with a win over Steele. Coach Molesky's got quite the program over there with the O'Connor Panthers.
Yep, he's built it up quite nicely indeed. If you knew them, they were just going to retool. They always do, just like at Steele.
Battles running that option, decides to keep. Didn't have much there, and good defense as the push from up front. Linebackers coming up. Clay Englehart was there. Christian Rodriguez fired through as well on a blitz to cause a loss on the play.
Yeah, really great job by Stevens staying at home. Those guys doing a really good job, and then Battle showing a lot of maturity right there. Didn't have anywhere to go with the football, just kind of ate it.
We're through 1. A very exciting first quarter here at Gustafson Stadium. It's all knotted up, 14-14. We'll move on to the second quarter on Hallmark University's Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back to our Associated Collision Center first quarter highlights. And what a quarter it was as Stevens got going with the touchdown pass to Gabe Flores to make it 7-0. Brandeis came right back. Jordan Battles to Oscar Cardenas for the 16-yard touchdown. It was 7-7 at that point. And then this time it was Brandeis who went in front. Battles. Back to Pate. Nice little play call, 6 yards. It was 14-7 at that point. But then here comes Clarence Lee. Tough running. Touchdown Stevens, and we're all knotted up at 14. Back to live action, and a gain of about 7 on the play.
Tell you what, this thing has turned into a track meet, hasn't it?
We've got such really balanced passing offenses, running it and throwing it. Stats pretty even across the board. Total yards about even. First downs is even.
Yeah, that's after 1 quarter of work, we're reminding everybody.
So here's Jordan Battles. He wants to go deep. Got a man wide open. Look out. Is that Pate? To the 20, to the 5, touchdown, Brandeis, Brandon Pate. Oh, he just ran right by his man on the left side, Chuck, and Battles put it right on the money again, 61 yards.
You know, when you have a guy that's this wide open, I think there's a tendency for a lot of quarterbacks to just try to lay it in there and just get the completion, but Jordan Battles has been very impressive. I mean, that thing was right on the button, and then how about the move there at the end? I mean, you can't say enough. Just totally juked his guy there, gave him a little stutter step, and was able to get another inch or 2 of separation to get himself into the end zone.
Lopez's extra point is good, and just like that, Brandeis is back out in front by a touchdown.
A veteran move by Brandon Pake at the end as we take a look. Little play fake, just freeze the guys up front, and then next thing you know, Pake's running down the field. Look at this at the end. Quick little move there.
He's got speed. He ran right by his guy, and I tell you what, Battles really likes going to him. I think that's his 6th or 7th target of the night. He's got 5 catches for 114 yards, 2 scores.
You know, what's interesting, he had 1 catch last week for 14 yards, so Brandon Page blowing up tonight.
And if I'm Frank Wilson of UTSA and my kid's playing on this team, I know a sophomore quarterback I've already made aware. You look good in orange and blue, why don't you stay in orange and blue?
You know, what's interesting is that, it's, Jordan has been in a battle to try to get that starting job, and it went all the way up to the last week. So, you're talking about putting a young guy out there, and I'm sure as a head coach, you got some reservations initially, but boy, I mean, he really looks the part.
Yeah, speed is noticeable.
The speed's noticeable, but I mean, the reason why a lot of young guys get on the football field is because they can run fast. But I mean, clearly, he's more than just a runner.
Yeah, he's made some tough catches. Josh Lopez back deep for the Falcons. Xavier Lopez ready to kick it to him. It's another one of those short kicks that will be run up on and caught right at the 30 and out of bounds at the 34, and we'll be back in 30 seconds.
It can get a little hot and sweaty out on the football field, but it shouldn't be hot and sweaty inside your house. If it is, contact Air Today Heating and Air Conditioning. Their reputation exceeds all others when it comes to service and quality. Mention this ad and Air Today will waive the service call fees. Air Today is an elite comfort maker dealer. Call 210-519-5959 and enjoy cool air today. Proud sponsor of Thursday Night Lights.
Got a heavyweight fight here at Gustafson Stadium. These two teams trading punches. Can Stevens punch back here after going down by 7? Here's Ramirez on the keep, cuts it back up and has enough for a kielbasa smoked meat first down.
Boy, great run there by Josh Ramirez, to say the least. Made the right read on the play and then wasn't thinking about going out of bounds, cut it back up and was looking for somebody to hit.
Jalen Rainey on the tackle.
You talked about trading punches. We haven't seen any punters out here tonight. No punch yet.
Wow. That makes for a good football game.
You're taking the foot out of football.
3 receivers to the left for Ramirez. Blitz shown. Here it comes as he fires out of the backfield. Cutting it up across midfield. Across the 45-yard line is Josh Lopez.
Well, when you run a play like that, the first thing that's got to happen is obviously the throw and then the catch. But you've also got to get blocks on the back end. And look at those 2 other receivers doing the job out there. That's how you draw it up if you're the coach. Good execution by Stevens.
Frank Wilson shoves him out of bounds. But not before another kielbasa smoked meat first down for Josh Ramirez and the Falcons.
But don't you love to see that? Receivers out there doing little things like that to help spring their teammate.
Great block. High snap. Ramirez keeps it. Picks up about 2, but that play was kind of blown up from the beginning as Brent Malone, the talented running back, also playing linebacker, is there to make the tackle.
Well, you can't say enough about the job Josh Ramirez is doing here early. I mean, that was a bust, and he was able to make some hay out of that. But look who's one of our Sprouts Farmers Market player profile guys. It's none other than Mark Lara, right up there off the top, cancer survivor. And even with all that, you can see all the special things that this young man's doing. But here he was a year ago, Don. I mean, we felt so bad for this kid and everything that he was going through at the time. And then, everything else that goes along with that, just grateful and glad that he was cleared in June. He's back playing, and it was a big reason why this team won 7 games a year ago, Don.
Just amazing
Yeah, they had something to fight for.
Just a year ago, he was being wheeled out here, and now he's making an impact as a player back on the football field again. And got a big bust here by Stevens on the snap, kicked a couple of times and recovered.
Yeah, look who's back there, one of the first guys back there, 35.
Mark
That's our guy.
Yeah, fantastic the fact that he's making that kind of impact after such a bleak diagnosis a year ago. Good for him. First down and 10 for Brandeis, already up a touchdown. Here's Jordan Battles with a man in motion, turns and hands, keeps rather, nice fake, and Battles forward for about 3 more.
Well, we were talking to Stevens head coach Conrad Hernandez this week. You know, one of the points of emphasis for sure going into this one was he really wanted his team to limit the amount of mistakes that they had from a week ago. And that was a pretty impressive performance in their win last week, beating a very solid Bernie Champion team. You know, they're having their way on offense tonight, but you can't turn the ball over, especially with the way Brandeis is moving the football.
Second down and 7 for Jordan Battles, who turns and hands it to Malone, and Malone, big, strong, tough football man, goes across the 30 down to the 25, and it's enough for a kielbasa smoke meat first down.
You're looking at another young man that's getting an awful lot of sniffs from college recruiters, and what's not to like?
Yeah, he certainly looks the part.
Yep.
Grown man.
Doing it Ivy League style.
Battles reversing it, coming this way to the 25 and maybe the 27. Nice tackle there by the Stevens defender. Josh Schwartz on the carry, but Cameron Rudolph did a great job coming up and making a perfect form tackle.
Yeah, Cameron's had a busy night out there running around. And stayed at home and squared him up and made the play.
That'll set up second down and about 8, make it a long 7. Brandeis with the touchdown lead here. 8 minutes to go. Battles checking with the signals with his coaches on the sidelines. Now brings the man in motion, runs option that way, keeps, and is still running sideways and then backwards, falling down at about the 16.
Noah Caballero getting a little piece of him right there, knocking him off his feet before he got finished off, but
good enough to go back into the Baptist Emergency Hospital red zone.
He's Jordan Battles. He's really impressive early to start this football game. Changing things up at the line, moving guys around.
In a million years, you wouldn't think he was a sophomore.
No.
Everything about him, his size, the way he runs this offense, composure. Hands to Malone. Malone up the middle to the 10-yard line. Gotta move the sticks. He's got a first down before he's brought down by Christian Rodriguez.
Pretty impressive offensive performance by Brandeis, to say the least, at this point. They're just doing whatever they want.
I'll set up first down and 10. They will be able to get a first down without getting a touchdown at about the 1-yard line. Battles in the gun. Hands, trying to bounce it to the outside is Rongel. Picks up a couple.
It's a nice strong run there too by another guy that's seen action on both sides of the football. A guy they moved to defense kind of as a necessity. Had a pretty good year running the football last year. I mean, he had over 500 yards and three touchdowns a season ago.
Second down and 8. Again, they can get a first down. Battles in the gun. He's got Paik to the far outside. He likes him, but he goes left. Rolls. Now runs, fires late. Incomplete. Didn't really have anybody, but probably a smart play to get it back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's one of those get rid of it, and it's also for Stevens. Fool me once, shame on me. They weren't going to buy it this time. Had all the action going right, went back left, and this time all those guys, gotta love that. You know, you talk about the progression of a team week to week. How about play to play? Right? Got burned by it earlier, weren't going to have any of it this time.
Had Cardenas, but that would have been a risky throw, and wisely throws it out of bounds to give him a chance here on third down. Low snap, some confusion. Malone has it, and a good job by that Stevens defense to avoid scoring opportunity there, and now it's going to be fourth down, and they'll send out the kicking team.
You talk about swarming to the football. I mean, and if you don't, Malone, as talented as he is going to probably turn it up and make some yardage out of that. But man, there were 3 or 4 Stevens guys that just kept pecking away. Finally were able to come away with a tackle and the stop and force the Broncos into their first kick of the night.
28-yard attempt by Lopez, and it's good. So they tack on 3 more, do the Brandeis Broncos. They lead Stevens by 10, 24-14. We're coming back with 5 minutes and 24 seconds to go in the half.
Welcome back to Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Taco Cabana. And it's time now for our Alamo Real Estate Brokers Smile Cam. And look at the kids at Stevens having a good time and jamming out to the sounds of the Beatles at their pep rally this week. Doing a little day tripping. Les Paul action. Is that what we got? That guitar? Very nice. See a little Fender. Good stuff.
Got it all, man. Got a Strat and a Les Paul.
All good in the hood. The sounds of the Beatles.
Timeless, right? I mean, the Beatles were old when we were in high school.
Yep.
That was 35 years ago.
They'll be saying the same thing about Slipknot 20 years from now.
I don't think so. Every time you say that, I look down at my shoes to make sure they're tied. Xavier Lopez with the short kick, taken there. They're caught at the 28-yard line. A little extracurricular.
Heck yeah,
there.
it's opening night, 28-6A. That's what I'm talking about. Guys trying to alpha dog it out there. See who's going to get the early lead on the rest of the pack. Love it, man. Both these teams have been impressive tonight.
Stevens wanting to get right back on the board and get in this football game after falling behind by 10. They led by a touchdown at one point.
Yeah, it's been self-inflicted wounds. I mean, they too have been having their way on offense, moving it up and down the field, but you have a couple of turnovers. That'll end up costing you at some point, but yeah, still very much in this thing. Right now, the big thing is do what you can to move the ball down the field, but also chip away at that clock there and see if you can't get a score going in right before the half. Tighten things up a little more.
3 wides to the left for Josh Ramirez. He's got Josh Lopez, Gabe Flores and company out there. Clarence Lee in the backfield with him as they show blitz. And they give it to Lee. Lee follows his blockers for a gain of 2. Good job by Frank Wilson and that Brandeis Bronco defense to come up and make it stop short.
Indeed, man. You had a lot of guys out there, and dudes were throwing some blocks, but as defenders, sometimes you got to fight through those things and make a play. But look at the pursuit to the football and guys shucking blocks. Good pursuit.
Buchanan in there. 2nd down and 8. Ramirez keeps himself, runs outside, and again only picks up maybe the line of scrimmage or another yard. And Brent Malone, the all-district linebacker, says, no, sir. And Mark Lara right there with him.
Boy, just pleased as punch, as I know everybody else is. And, you know, just what a great beacon of light for this ball club last year. You know, Coach made no bones about it. You know, we won 7 games last year, and we just had something to fight for every week because of that young man's perseverance and what he was going through and how he was dealing with it.
Ramirez wanted to throw, now keeps him. Again, he's drilled by Malone. Stay tuned for our Lockaway Storage halftime show. You'll be able to vote for the band Grant, Brandeis High School and Stevens High School's bands will perform. And we'll introduce you to our Vulcan Materials Company Scholar Athletes of the Week. That's all coming up on the Lockaway Storage halftime show. And Stevens will have to punt for the first time tonight. Matthew Martinez back. And they have another miscue. Does a good job to get it away, but it'll go out of bounds for a net of about 5 yards maybe. -1. It looks like. We'll take a break, and when we come back, Brandeis back in business already on the Stevens side of the field. Welcome back to Gustafson Stadium here in district play, 28-6A. Brandeis over Stevens by 10. And Battles and company have the football right back after a miscue on the special teams by Stevens. And Battles has it, he's running, and he's in the clear. Battles to the 10, 5, touchdown, Brandeis Broncos. Jordan Battles, the sophomore, going for 6, unless there's a flag. And there is. See what the call is. Usually it's a hold in this situation.
Well, I don't know who they called. But first off, can't say enough about the job that the left side of that offensive line did, because I sure didn't see a hold. But Tapia Fisher and Sosa and Martinez doing their thing at the initial line, or at the point of attack, I should say. Let's listen in.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay the down.
But downfield, Brandon Pake absolutely had his man engaged. And to see a wide receiver throw a block like he threw right there.
They may have called it on him. I don't know.
Think so. I mean, he had him squared up. I mean, he wasn't, he was face to face with him. So, I mean, I was watching him the whole time because I couldn't believe how well he was blocking downfield. But regardless, Brandeis has got to do it again.
1st and 3.
Well, they must have called it on him.
And they do it again. Run the same play, and Battles gets down to the 15-yard line of first down at Kielbasa Smoke Meat. First down inside the Baptist Emergency Hospital red zone. Eli Wilkinson Alexander in on another tackle. Big night for him defensively. He's always around the ball. But as you can see, Battles already has 130 yards tonight.
Yeah, and a couple strikes there at the end to finish off drive. So what an impressive early performance, not only by Battles, but the rest of this Brandeis offense.
He's got Brock Gallegos to the right-hand side. Instead, he hands it off, and look out.
At this guy.
Touchdown. Well, he lost the football. Who's got it?
I think
he got it back. Christian Medina showed a flash of speed, lost the football right at the goal line, but then stays with it and comes up with it for a score. Boy, did he have some nice little burst there right after the handoff.
That's what I'm talking about. Look like a water bug.
Only a junior.
Look at this. Hit the hole. And not going to ankle tackle that guy. Took a shot there right at the end. Looked like he'd already crossed the line, though. But either way, that young man's got himself another touchdown and another 6 points to finish off the drive for the Brandeis Broncos, who have done this every time but once tonight, and the other time they ended up with a field goal.
Xavier Lopez, been busy man tonight, knocks through another extra point. And Brandeis ups their lead to 31-14 with 2.5 to go here in the first half.
It's just like precision on this offense. Play to play. Yeah, just faster than everybody else.
That would have been a close call if you would have had replay at the next level, right there at the line. But a moot point as Medina falls on it for 6. 31-yard drive, only took 3 plays in 48 seconds. Medina goes in from 16 yards out. And Brandeis now a little more comfortable lead at 31-14.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Stevens comes up with now with 2.5 left to go in the second quarter. I mean, again, they've been moving the football just fine. The problem is you can't have the mistakes that they've had. That's been part of it. And then, you know, on the previous possession, you're punting it away and you run into some problems there. So at times tonight, Stevens has been its own worst enemy, but this offense has also looked very impressive. So if they could just eliminate a couple of mistakes, might be able to get down and get some points themselves before the end of the first half.
Yeah, just had a couple of bad plays. That's all the difference in this one so far. The big loss where they kicked it backwards and it was recovered, and then the mishandled snap on the punt. Lopez kicks away. Taken at the 10. Across the 20, still on his feet. And down past the 32 is Josh Lopez.
That's some hard running by that guy. He's had a couple of nice runs tonight. You can tell he's ready for some 28-6A action.
Put up some big numbers last week. A couple explosive plays. As I said earlier, 2 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. As Ramirez runs back on the field with 2:23 to try to get something done here for the Falcon offense. He's got Lee behind him. And 2 receivers split to the left, 1 to the right to the short side. On 1st and 10. Blitz coming, hands to Lee, nothing there. Brandeis defense all over it, including guess who? Brent Malone.
No, we started our first shot of that sequence right there, staring into the eyes of Brett Malone, and just get the feeling that you're looking at, you know, a guy like Dick Butkus. It's like, man, I'm running away from that guy if I can.
He knows exactly where it's going and was the first one there on that last play. 2nd down and 9 for Ramirez. He might be changing the play call. Little delay handoff to Lee. Nice burst up the middle. Lara pops him right as he crosses the 35-yard line. He took a nice big shot by Mark Lara.
Boy, he did. Clearance equal to the hit, though. Tough kid. Boy, he took a shot right in the small of the back at the end of this.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a nominee for our collision of the game coming up later. Sets up 3rd and 3 for Stevens.
Mark Lara leaving it all out there and including a little blood.
I think he was having a fun time. He was laughing.
Yeah, you better believe it. Happy as a pig in slop to be out there drilling guys again.
Malone shows blitz. They fire out to Lee on a little swing pass. Gets out of bounds to stop the clock. Did not get the first down. It'll set up 4th down and maybe 2. Interesting call here, because if you're Stevens, this is the kind of time at this end of the field, you still give them plenty of time to Battles and his offense if you don't convert here on 4th down and 4.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I mean, what the heck, right?
Well, the way your special teams have been going, smart play there with the quick kick with nobody back. And that's a wise move. They'll have to go 80 in 41 seconds. Whereas if they wouldn't have picked it up, it would have been a lot easier. Smart call on the quick kick, especially the way the pump team had been performing up until this point. 44 yards on the kick.
Well, after a little bit of a slow start for the Brandeis defense, where they've really turned it around here in the last few series, haven't they?
And you know they're looking for more right here with 41 seconds to go. They have big play guys. We've already seen the speed from Brandon Pake. We've already seen the size of big Oscar Cardenas on a touchdown. And some explosive athletes in Jordan Battles and Brent Malone.
Yeah, this is a nice opportunity, too, for Brandeis. You don't get a lot of these situations.
They'll pump and go. It's complete. All the way down to midfield. Brock Gallegos. Nice little hitch and go there. Fooled the defensive secondary, and can't say enough about the velocity and the touch that Battles has.
No, indeed. And again, this is one of those opportunities. You never know when you're going to have 40 seconds left in a game that's a one-score game, so you got to work on these things. But the biggest play to a drive like this is the first play. Now we got some gadgetry going on. Look out.
Option pitch, double pass. Pake's got it all the way down to the 10-yard line, and he's out of bounds.
Brandeis pulling out all the stops here with 40 seconds left in the first half.
Shows run, then releases, and into the Baptist Emergency Hospital red zone. Jalen Battles with 18, looking to his right, fires over the middle, got a man caught, touchdown Brandeis, it's Joshua Suarez.
Well, we know this, if Brandeis is ever in a close game and only has 40 seconds left to go a long way, they're going to like the start to the season that they've had doing that. I mean, that's unbelievable. You could go that far in fewer than 30 seconds.
Is that 3 plays?
Yep, and end up with 6 at the back end. This Battles kid is just something else.
Impressive 3-play drive.
Again, when you're trying to do something like this, the most important thing on a drive like that when you have very little time is the very first play. So to pick up the yards that they did on that first one, really set the tone for the rest of it.
Yeah, and all 3 of them were a bit of a gadgetry. You had the pump and go, the halfback pass, and then the guy who threw the pass catches the next one for a touchdown.
Again, great blocking and another solid lane in which to throw the football.
Don't forget, coming up on the halftime show, one of the bands that performs on TNL this year will win the $5,000 band grant. It's all based on votes, so get your phones ready. Get ready to vote during the halftime show. Text your favorite band, the $5,000 band grant made possible by the Children's Hospital of San Antonio. $80 yards in 3 plays, and it took just 30 seconds, and Josh Suarez passed for a long ball and then caught the 11-yarder to end the drive.
Yeah, and over 50 points on the scoreboard, and we're still got 11 seconds left.
Fun night of football out here at Gus. Weather's held up. Nice night, cool weather. Preparing for the worst with all that storms that were in the area pregame, but it's all cleared off nicely. Stevens will just run it up the middle and be brought down at about the 30, and that will take us down to the final snap of the half, 2 seconds for Josh Ramirez. Conrad Hernandez will likely just take a knee here. Be glad to go into the locker room and regroup with Brandeis coming on offensively here in the second quarter.
Well, we talked a little bit about Brandeis opening some eyes last week with the performance against Johnson. This is some kind of way to start league play, huh? You come out here and put 38 on the board in the first 2 quarters of work.
Yeah, and precision. Surgical offensive execution, and some really talented skill players all over the place. Give it to Lee up the middle. He's got some room, but he's not going to have enough time to do much. He'll be tackled there at the 49-yard line. And David Branscombe up big, still coaching him up as they'll take it into the locker room. 38-14. The Broncos with a very impressive second quarter as we go down to the sidelines and Mike Hernandez.
All right, thanks, guys. I'm joined by Coach Hernandez. How are you feeling right now? You started out real well.
Well, that's part of this game. And mistakes are really hurting us right now. We had some turnovers and just didn't do some things in my opinion, just weren't very smart in the last couple of minutes of this second half and gave them 14 points. So, we got to regroup and cut this thing in half and give us a shot in the second half.
How do you try to slow down that offense?
Well, you got to press pause first. You got to press pause and let's figure out how we can do that. And, we show some good things, but again, they're explosive. We knew they're explosive, and that was one of our keys to winning this game. We knew that we had to slow them down, and right now that's on us, and we'll figure it out.
All right. Well, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mike. Don't forget, coming up next, it's the Lockaway Storage halftime show. We'll hear from both bands. Good night of football here at Gus. Brandeis pulling away 38-14. Stick around. The halftime show is next.
Welcome to the Lockaway Storage halftime show.
We're back at Gustafson Stadium where Brandeis leads Stevens 38-14. On Hallmark University's Thursday Night Lights, it's time to listen in to the Lockaway Storage halftime show and the Brandeis High School Marching Band. Hey, if you'd like Brandeis to be the big winner of our band grant, text band 3 to 44332. A $5,000 band grant will be presented to one of these bands at the end of the season, courtesy of the Children's Hospital of San Antonio. Again, if you'd like band grant, text band 3 for Brandeis.
You're watching the Lockaway Storage halftime show.
Welcome back to Gustafson Stadium. We've heard from the Brandeis band. They lead it 38-14 to the Broncos here on a exciting offensive game here on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. The Stevens band now getting ready to take the field. that, we'll check out our Vulcan Materials Company Scholar Athletes of the Week.
Meet Michael Valadez, this week's Scholar Athlete from Stevens High School. Michael is gearing up for football season right now, where he plays right offensive tackle, and he loves it.
Played offensive line since I was a little kid, and I mean, to play with the Stevens Falcons is an amazing opportunity. The team's looking really good right now, and as an offense, we just need to execute. But I mean, yeah, offensive line, you hit somebody every single play, and it's the best job in the world. So
Michael also throws the shot put and the discus during the track season. Now, he's involved in a host of activities in and outside of school, including the National Honor Society and the Stevens Leadership Council.
I volunteer with my church. This summer I worked at Axe Retreat, helping out the youth with my community, and that was really an awesome experience. It was an entire weekend of just me, my faith, and just educating the youth on their faith, and it was really great.
He says his big inspirations in his life have been his parents.
My dad and my mom, hardworking, two parents that they work hard every single day, and I don't ever see them complain, and it's just amazing to see how that can come from them to me, just that hard-working mentality.
Michael wants to pursue a career in engineering and hopes to one day own his own engineering company. Our next Scholar Athlete comes to us from Brandeis High School, James Thomas Dean. James has been on the football team for 4 years and says it's kind of a family tradition.
Been playing football since I was about 7 years old, and it's always been a big part of my life. My father and my brother also played football, and so they've supported me a lot.
He's involved in many activities in the community, including volunteering with Kinetic Kids and the San Antonio Food Bank. But one of his favorite activities is mentoring.
Every Monday, some of the football players and I would go to Carnahan Elementary School, and so we'd take an hour out of our morning, and we would just mentor them. So we would go read with them or do other activities like playing football with them, and it's just a really good experience to kind of teach them some great life lessons.
And as for his future, James is aiming high.
I want to go to Texas A&M University, and I plan to study aerospace engineering there. After that, I've already looked into SpaceX has an internship program for the summer you come out of college.
Representing Vulcan Materials Company, Brad Bastine presented Michael and James with the Scholar Athlete certificates. Congratulations to both of these fine young men.
Hey, to vote for the Stevens Band, text Band 4 to 44332. That's Band 4 without any spaces for complete texting guidelines. You can go to the CW35.com. This year's band grant presented by the Children's Hospital of San Antonio. Nice job by Stevens. San Antonio middle and high school athletes are doing great things for our community. San Antonio Sports and Methodist Healthcare are shining the light on teams that model key values through their actions. This week, we recognize 2 schools whose community projects demonstrate beyond-the-game values. In August, the Alamo Heights football team packed 1,000 lunches for the elderly at the San Antonio Food Bank as part of their Mules Give Back initiative. Before school began, the Clark High School Athletics program collected more than 1,500 school supplies for students in need from Clark and their feeder elementary and middle schools. These athletes demonstrated the beyond-the-game values of selfless service, caring, integrity, and respect. San Antonio Sports and Methodist Healthcare salute high school and middle school coaches who inspire their teams to serve others. Parents, teachers, and coaches can nominate teams that go beyond the game. Visit sanantoniosports.org.
You're watching the Lockaway Storage Halftime Show.
It is time for our highlights brought to you by Associated Collision Center, your trusted professionals since 1976. Brandeis up 38-14. Let's show you how they got there. First score of the game, a 10-yard touchdown pass from Josh Ramirez to Gabriel Flores. And Stevens was up 7-zip. But back come the Broncos. Jordan battles the sophomore to Oscar Cardenas, the UTSA commit. 16-yard touchdown pass, tied the game up at 7-7. Brandeis then went ahead when Battles threw back to Brandon Pake. 6-yarders, that put the Broncos up 14-7. But Stevens would tie it up. Clarence Lee, the 12-yard score. We're all knotted up at 14. But in the second quarter, it was all Broncos. Jordan Battles going to Brandon Pake for his second score of the game. 61 yards. That put the Broncos up for good. And they didn't look back. They got a 28-yard field goal by Xavier Lopez to make it 24-21. And then this 16-yard touchdown run by Medina. Christian Medina made it 31-14. He lost it at the end but fell on it. And then they capped off a 3-play 80-yard drive. Joshua Suarez threw for a long completion and then caught the 11-yarder to end the drive. And it's 38-14 as we look at the stats, Chuck.
Yeah, a lot of offense in this one, obviously, is you can see by the scores, but it has been the Brandeis show. Greatest show on turf to this point. They're doing it with the run. They're doing it with the pass. And they've done it cleanly for the most part. They've had a few penalties, but you know, when you're talking about all the plays that they've done and how exotic they've been with their offense to not turn the ball over, you know, every time they've touched the ball in that first half, they went down and got some points. So it's been an explosive first half for the Brandeis Broncos, and now we'll see if Stevens can chip away at the stone and get back into this thing when we start the third quarter.
Battles ran for over 200 yards last week. He's thrown for over 172 and 3 scores so far this week. We will see much more of him when we come back. Both teams on the field. We're about ready to go with the second half kickoff when we come back to Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights.
Thanks for watching the Lockaway Storage Halftime Show. Stay tuned for the second half kickoff. You're watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Taco Cabana.
Welcome back. David Branscom's squad up 38-14, ready to kick it off. Our second half kickoff sponsored by HEB, and Brandeis will get the ball right back as well. Another opportunity for Jalen Battles to do more damage. Jordan Battles, rather, his cousin's Jalen, who played for Madison. We called his name. And There's Coach Frank Wilson's son from UTSA. Frank Wilson, who's a junior. Joshua Suarez also back deep. The kicks have been short. And here's another one. It's really an onside-er. It may not even go 10 yards, and it doesn't. And that'll draw a penalty flag, or should.
Missed it by that much. It's 1 yard short.
Chuck, is the Brandeis offense takes the field. The young Pake kid having a big game.
Oh, indeed. Jordan Battles and Brandon Pake. This has been the love connection so far tonight for the Brandeis Broncos. Pake with 6 receptions, 114 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It's been an amazing night. When he's not getting it from Battles, he's getting it from other guys. But I've been equally impressed with that young man's ability to block downfield, too. He's done it all.
Here's Battles keeping on the run. So far, only 31 yards on 7 carries after running for 200 a week ago. Calls his own number that time, picks up 5 yards. He's brought down by Noah Caballero. As we go down to the sidelines, and Mike Hernandez. Mike?
Yeah, guys, so I got a chance to talk to Coach Branscombe at halftime. I asked him what he thought of the first half. Believe it or not, he wasn't all that happy. He says they just not start fast enough. He said that Stevens came out, changed the pacing on him, and that pace confused him. And they put together a couple of good drives. He said they made some great plays defensively. The offense is looking good now. He says, but it takes them a long time to kind of get going. And he said, you know what, if you want to be a great team, you got to start fast. And he said, emphatically, we will start fast this second half. So we'll see what they do here.
All right, thanks, Mike. Jordan Battles grimacing a little bit after he took a shot right in the small of the back at the end of that run. Looks like they're trying to establish his ground game here, up 38-14. Run some clock and march it down the field at the same time. Young sophomore quarterback's done a great job throwing the football tonight. Really impressed with his leadership ability. He just kind of seems to have control of this offense. A little option this way. And he's roped down at about the 40-yard line. Clay Englehart, we previewed pre-game, making the tackle.
Well, it's always interesting, too, and, you know, you can learn something about all these guys, you know, seemingly play to play. You got young sophomore quarterback, takes a wicked shot at the end of the last run. Just call him on a read play the next play, and what does he do? He doesn't even look at the pitch guy. He stayed with the ball himself and took himself another shot. I like his toughness.
Here he is, handing to Jay Nova Rangel, who picks up about 3 over the left-hand side. He's brought down, and Chuck, can't help to when I look at the monitor and see that black and red jersey, think about the mean machine. We lost Paul Crew today. The great Burt Reynolds passing away. Think of the longest yard and great football. Burt was a great player at Florida State University. Everybody's bandit for our age who grew up in the 70s. Cardenas has it over the middle. Touchdown. Oscar Cardenas, the second for him, and Frank Wilson's got to be cheering on the other side as that young man's committed to UTSA. Right over the middle, what we call a tight end pop pass, wide open.
That's the thing. Brandeis is going to lull you to sleep. All these runs, fake the run again. Cardenas slips through, and you get a stiff arm like that, and man, I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard to tackle that guy that high up, especially as big of a lug as he is, huh? Man.
Xavier Lopez's extra point is good, and Brandeis extends their lead to 45-14. We're back with more after this.
I'm trying to tell you, speed bump.
There's big Oscar Cardenas. Brandeis up 45-14. That young man with 2 touchdowns on the night. 36 yards on that one.
That's a man-sized fella down there catching balls and ram on into the end zone.
And he moves really well for a kid that size.
D1er. That's what D1ers look like. Done the job blocking too. Again, a lot of these Brandeis kids showing off the gamut.
Eli Wilkinson Alexander back deep. And this one is kicked deep. And he'll pick it up at the 4. And he's got some room. He's across the 20, cuts it back to the 25, and a nice run back by Wilkinson Alexander all the way out to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, he's had a couple of ones tonight too, and he did a lot of that on his own. Didn't look like he was going to have a chance to do anything on that return, and came up a little gimpy on that one
too. He's holding his right ham. He's bothering him a little bit. That's what I look like first 5 steps out of bed every morning.
I feel you. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be feeling that tomorrow too. Probably the same thing.
First down. Ramirez wants to throw it, does, and completes it. He was juggling a little bit, and they ended up not giving it to him. They said Gabriel Flores was juggling as he went out of bounds. Ended up controlling the ball at the end, but not enough for the reception because he did struggle to bring it in. So that's incomplete, sets up second down and 10.
Yeah, Josh Ramirez has had a really nice night too when they've asked him to throw it. He's been spot on with his throws, and he obviously has shown the ability to throw on the run. Very good job squaring his shoulders when he releases the ball, even on the run.
And we got whistles early as he handed it off to Lee. But there was movement before the snap.
On the offense, before the play. 5-yard penalty, repeat down.
That's illegal motion, and you heard our official. 5-yard penalty, and we'll repeat the first down. Cardenas not happy with the number of mistakes that have hurt his ball club tonight. Fire it to this side, got a man. And across the 28 near the 30-yard line is Joshua Lopez.
The Brandeis defense really doing a nice job, you know, after the first few series where they were getting gashed. They've really done a nice job getting over, getting to the ball.
Sets up third down and 9 at their own 28-yard line as Ramirez looks for the call. Brandeis making some substitutions on defense. Ramirez wants to look over the middle. Doesn't have anything. Now runs it, and he's brought down for a loss on the play.
Outstanding job.
Bruce Dickinson.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Tattooed millionaire.
I'll let you do it. Oh. I thought you were going to say he puts his football pants on just like everybody else.
The only
One leg at
difference
a
is,
time.
yeah.
When he does, he makes gold records.
See, I was thinking of the other Bruce Dickinson. Because we're 2 minutes into the third quarter and 2 minutes to midnight.
High punt taken in at the 45-yard line. And a nice return across midfield down to about the 43-yard line as we go down. When we need more cowbell, we go to Mike Hernandez. Mike?
I'm joined by Daniel Lasgatti, who's the band director for Brandeis. How you doing? Great halftime show.
Thank you very much. Doing well. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. So this is your first year as the band director here, right?
Yeah, as the director of bands over at Brandeis, first year. Yeah.
How do you like it?
It's going well. Community's great. Parents are great. Kids are great. Admin's great. It's a really great place to be.
So it'd be great then. So you got a pretty big group there. How many actually are in your band?
We have right under 240. That includes the color guard as well. So.
Yeah, and you guys have done really well as far as the band grant and things like that. You guys have done well getting that.
Yeah, in fact, Mr. Herrero, who was the director when the school opened, they got a little winning streak going. So it's been 2 years in a row that they've won the band grant. And so pressure's on a little bit to win it a third time in a row.
Did they give you the secret?
So we'll see. A little bit.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. Good luck to you the rest of the year. And we enjoyed hearing you again at halftime. It was great.
Thanks.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mike. We may have seen the last of Jordan Battles as backup Brett Marthas is in. He played a lot last year. He's a senior and threw for 111 yards and a touchdown last season.
Yeah, and he's going to play some this year too, and you never know what's going to happen with the injury situation, but they really like this guy too.
Jay Nova Rangel has the football running to the left. He's brought down after a gain of 2. And speaking of Marthas, we have a Sprouts player profile on this young man. He was a special teams captain, member of the National Honor Society, the Unity Council. He's a volunteer for Kinetic Kids in the Special Olympics, and he volunteers over at Carnahan Elementary School. Straight A student with a GPA of 94 and had lots of snaps as a senior over the years here playing with the Brandeis Broncos, but just a really talented kid coming up in the wings with Battles, but still, again, this young man's taking some snaps and they feel comfortable with the offense in his hands. Hands it right up the middle to Rangel, and he's going to score. Rangel to the 10, touchdown, Brandeis, no flags.
Well, running back by committee, and we have absolutely seen it all from this Brandeis offense tonight. You know, earlier in the drive, we saw Christian Medina, and we saw how much junk in the game that he has at running back. And then Rangel. Look at this, great vision, shifty, slides, glides, and then has the burst to finish the drive off.
And the vision to use the umpire as a blocker. And this is the busiest man of the night, Xavier Lopez, kicking it through to make it 52-14. It is all Brandeis Bulldogs here in the second half at Gustafson Stadium.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Roselle Gardens.
Hey, coming up, we'll be handing out the hardware to the winners. Now that looks like it's going to be Brandeis and our player of the week. These trophies will be awarded to tonight's winning team and the player of the game. They were custom designed by Monarch Trophy Studio. If you're looking for trophies, plaques, or custom engraving, call Monarch. Our good friends Charlie and Kathy Drago over there at 210-344-3777, or visit mtsawards.com.
Good looking stuff right there.
Ball taken at the 3-yard line, and the Brandeis special teams unit coming up with a big hit south of the 14. Joshua Lopez.
Yeah, and Preston Dang, just a sophomore. Dang, that was a big hit.
52-14 our score, all Brandeis. This was a really close football game, tied at the end of the first quarter. But Brandeis' offense really exploded in the second half. Stevens had some miscues, some botched plays that led to really good field position. But something tells me Brandeis is going to be having to be dealt with the giants of this district, O'Connor and company, 28-6A this year.
And I'm with you. They've been mighty impressive.
Ramirez picks up a couple.
Starting to play with a lot of confidence. We talked about the youth of this ball club, but you'd never know it.
Yeah, Brennan, O'Connor, always good. Of course, Jay has the very talented quarterback that's already signed at Baylor. This district's going to be fun to watch this year.
Yeah, and I think, Stevens has shown some nice things tonight, too. I mean, you're not going to get a walkover when you play those guys week to week.
Nope. Clarence Lee up the middle, doing a great job to fight for the first down. He's close. Depends where they spot it. Kane Buchanan on the tackle.
Boy, he took a shot.
And Lee's a little slow getting up. Waves off his teammates, and here's another look at it.
Yeah, that was a jaw snapper right there. I think even his mouthpiece flew out.
Came down hard on his back and hit his head on the turf. We'll take a break while they attend to him. Brandeis up 52-14.
Tonight's attendance is 3,155. Thank you very much for attending tonight's game.
We're back at a very quiet Gustafson Stadium as Brandeis takes a knee, waiting for Clarence Lee to get to his feet. He did sit up, and now he's getting to his feet and walking off under his own power. A little shaken up. Good to see him jogging.
Yeah, great to see that, too. I mean, we talked about what a tough guy this is on and off the field. And, again, Coach couldn't say enough good things about Clarence Lee as a person. And the leadership council, the vocal leaders of this team, leads their prayership group. I mean, just all-around good kid, man. Pulling for guys like that.
It's a Kielbasa smoke meat first down as he did get the line to gain. Here's Josh Ramirez in the Stevens offense trying to battle back down 52-14. Handoff inside and more tough running. Carson Prouty.
Yeah, getting a look and still in it to win it. Finishing off the run nicely right there, Carson Prouty.
The San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge powered by CPS Energy is underway. Don't forget you can register your squad for a $1,000 or $500 cash grant and to get to cheer at the Army All-American Bowl or San Antonio Sports All-Star football game at the Alamo Dome. There's another run right up the middle by Prouty, and he shows a burst of speed and a huge gain across midfield. Of course, he came into the ball game with some touches last week, but none up until this point. 22-yard gain. He's been waiting his time, ready to play, and he's showing that he can do the job.
Sure has. Nice little spark right here. Gets the other guys jacked up too. Give it to him again.
Another Kielbasa meet first down. They do. They're listening, Chuck. He tries to bounce it outside, and that time the Brandeis defense there to wrap him up. Cooper Pruitt in there, senior, getting some playing time.
Yeah, I like the fight of these Stevens kids right now. I mean, the scoreboard's not going your way, but they're a little short-handed tonight, Don, too. I mean, their best defensive back, maybe the best player on their team, Matthew Littlejohn. A lot of D1 looks, is out. Obviously, his brother's a really good player. And then they got another young man, Jesus Solis, that they were counting on this year to kind of help man the defensive line. I got a chance to meet with Jesus before the ball game. I was looking for him on the sideline. I don't see him, but really great story there in that we've talked about the Austin Hart people and how they get the free screenings every year and how much good work they're doing. These kids go in to take their physicals and they get the heart screening. Well, Jesus had an issue and it's going to keep him out all year, but he's going to be back next year. But again, you can't say enough about the job that these school districts do and just the outlook that they have for their own kids and, how they go and something like that was established and you save a life or two along the way. It's just really cool.
Yeah, Bart Kuntz and his family, after losing their son August, who played for Alamo Heights, implemented that August Hart program, which gives free screenings to kids. And we've seen, Chuck, a couple of different kids over the years that went through that screening, and it saved their life. And got the procedure done. And more people are taking advantage of that program each and every summer.
A good little pooch kick right there.
Out of bounds right at about the 18-yard line.
Yeah, I remember our old friend Jake Stewart from Clark High School. Had that early on in his high school career, and he went on to Trinity to play football and then decided he was going to just be a student. But yeah, I mean, what a wonderful thing where somebody's taken something that was so devastating and then turn it into a positive, and then all the things that happen along the way that are just good stuff.
Yeah, it's been a real healing program for Bart. I had a chance to talk to him, and he said you'll never get over the fact of your son, losing your son at that age, but it does give him some satisfaction and some comfort knowing that this program has helped other kids and other families from suffering the same fate. Hey, coming up after the game, remember we got good programming here on the CW35. We got the Supernatural. And back at the house, Chuck is TiVoing his favorite, The Originals, which again is coming up after the game on the CW35.
Must be a good show if it's got a fleur-de-lis in there, right?
Ah, yes. Second down and 8. For the young quarterback, Brett Marthas, the senior. Good job by the Stevens defense. Josh Gonzalez in on the tackle. You tick inside of 2 minutes here in the third quarter. Chuck has promised that at some point during these blowout games, you're gonna start doing color commentary in German.
Oh, das ist gut, ja. No.
Very impressed. I'm very. Hold on. Let me say, I work with Chuck 50 hours a week, and I'm very impressed with the strides you are making to learn a second language. It's very impressive.
I still haven't learned the first one, bro.
Marthas complete. Big time gain. Nice catch on the sidelines. Getting a little shot. It was Justin Hallam. He's a senior receiver. And he came down with a big-time catch.
I'm telling you, man, this team looks legit. I mean, I know you can look at the scoreboard and say that, no kidding, knucklehead, but, I mean, they've got weapons all over the place. And then this young offensive line does the job. They run it. They can throw it. They've got 2 talented quarterbacks. Defense has played really well.
Incomplete there on first down. Kielbasa smoked meat first down as Nathan Velasquez couldn't hang on to it.
You see Coach David Branscombe, I mean, I was talking to him this week, and I mean, he was just gushing about this group. He's just, talking about the number of kids. Obviously, he likes them as football players, but just as people. I mean, he says they're easy to coach. They're a good group. They're a cohesive group. They want to be taught. They want to learn. They want to win. And they're not afraid. I mean, he just went right down the list, all these different things. I mean, he's been coaching for a long time. And again, talk about a group that you're having as much fun with this group as any group you've ever had. This early in the season, I mean, I think that says a lot.
Yeah, they're tough. Christian Medina fighting for more yardage there. Plus, he's got, a little bit of security in the knowing that the Battles kid's going to be there for a couple more years. He's got to be excited about his program and the young athletes that are coming up through there. As you mentioned earlier, the offensive line is young. They'll all come back along with Battles. Suarez is just a sophomore. Velasquez is just a junior. Medina, who just carried the ball, is just a junior. They're all coming back.
Yeah, I mean, he says everybody's bought in, and he not only likes these guys and the guys that are playing, but he likes what's coming up. Just a lot of fun right now.
Angel's a junior. They lose Cardenas, the big tight end, who's going to UTSA, but they lose Paik as well, who's had a big night tonight, but surely a lot of talent coming back. They'll make some noise this year. They'll make some noise. You can watch them play. O'Connor and other giants in this district are going to have to look out for these guys. That's the end of the third quarter with Brandeis up 52-14. When we'll come back, we've got the fourth quarter action as Stevens tries to make a comeback here at Gustafson Stadium. welcome back. Time for our highlights brought to you by Associated Collision Center, your trusted professionals since 1976. Big Oscar Cardenas right over the middle. 36-yard touchdown pass put Brandeis up 45-14. They weren't done. 31-yard touchdown by J. Novo Rangel followed. Number 21 going to the house to make it 52-14, and that's where we stand as we start the fourth quarter with the Broncos punting the football. Well, look like it might be a little fake, and then a left-footed kick. It'll bounce at the 30, and it'll be down right there at about the 30-yard line, and Stevens will have the football as we send it down to Mike Hernandez. Mike?
All right, so I'm joined by John Dominguez, who's the band director for Stevens. How you doing?
I'm doing great, having a good time.
So I was watching the show at halftime, man. That's a lot of people, one out there to coordinate, and you guys put on a great show. You were all over the field.
Thank you. Yeah, we try to do for our first couple of games a fun show that's going to get everybody in the band involved and doing pop music and fun things. We don't put out our UIL competition show till the next week.
All right, so you got that coming up.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this 19 years. Now check this out, folks. He's the only band director that Stevens has ever had. You've been doing that for 14 years.
Well, yes, I opened the school as the assistant director with Robert Rubio. We were here for 11 years together, and this is my third year as the head director.
Well, how do you like it?
It's great. I love it.
Like working with the kids?
It's wonderful. They're really awesome.
Well, we were talking about how you see all the I guess the dads, you said that the band, the boosters.
Yeah, they call them
moving the equipment and
it's
stuff.
the chaperones, it's the flight crew, it's all the band boosters that do everything for us, and we wouldn't be able to do the things we do without them. Really wouldn't.
Yeah, you guys got a great band. I mean, I really like it. Say hi. Say hi. All right, guys, back to you.
All right, Mike, thanks. Lee with a big run of 8 makes it 2nd down and 2. As Ramirez gets the call from the sideline. Tell you what, Lee's taking some big hits tonight, continues to run hard.
Yeah, he looks the part.
Fake it to him.
Another good throw.
Throw out here to the near side. It's caught by Gabriel Flores, who's also had a nice evening. He's got a kielbasa smoked meat first down.
You know, so much of this, Don, is, body language. Commanding the box, as they say in baseball. When you get in there, look like you're going to do some damage. And I think, got to say that Josh Ramirez certainly does that. I mean, looks like he's in absolute control of what's going on and poised. He's had a good night tonight.
First down and 10, right about the 45. Lee's got it. Tough running, tough sledding, maybe 2 yards of momentum before he's brought down. Oh, excuse me, that was Prouty in for Lee. Carson Prouty running hard as well. And mass substitutions as they run on some subs here. Matthew Martinez will be the backup quarterback. No stats on him. And the number 2's in there all across the board. We'll try to keep track of these youngsters. Prouty's got it. He runs hard. He's got the first down and more. Carson Prouty is making himself a case to get more touches at the running back position. 31's been all over it tonight. Kane Buchanan bringing him down.
Yeah, Matthew Martinez stepping into the quarterback position. But I agree, 31's done a really nice job running between the tackles, and he's shifty. He gets contacted, he still ends up springing for another few yards.
Martinez is a junior, getting his first varsity snaps. He's got Chris Jones split out to the left. And it's Prouty again. Prouty's still churning for more. Tell you what, Carson Prouty.
His attitude. Just about attitude.
He's tough.
See, a guy like that fighting in a score like this, you know what you're going to get game to game, that's for sure.
Second down and 7 from the 40. Well, you see Prouty with 37 yards on 5 carries. Ball short, but nope, they're going to say he trapped it. Officials signal that it bounced to Chris Jones, the junior.
Yeah, Chris Jones doing all he could on that particular ball. Doing a good job coming back and trying to get his hands underneath it. Good effort there on the back end.
Set up a 3rd down conversion opportunity for Matthew Martinez. Brandeis has also subbed in their 2nd unit on defense. Jordan Flowers, the junior linebacker, showing blitz, and he does come. Martinez fires. It's tipped away. Preston Dang, one-handed, almost picked it off, and he's fired up about the batted ball.
Yeah, we talked about some of these young men that Brandeis has a chance to play at the next level. And Stevens has got some guys too. Michael Valadez, who we featured during our Scholar Athlete segments, getting some looks. Matthew Benitez. Already talked about Clarence Lee and Matthew Littlejohn. So, Stevens has got some players too that are going to have a chance to play at the next level.
4th and 7
tonight, but it's only week 2.
We're looking at a punt, a little quick kick. We'll go. Stop short. Good job by the special teams of Stevens, putting Brandeis on their own 2-yard line. We'll see what the Broncos can do with it when we come back. Welcome back for our Alamo Real Estate Brokers Smile Camp. Check out this pep rally. It was the blackout. Black light. Cool performance put on by the Spirit Groups, and that's our Alamo Real Estate Brokers Smile Camp leading you home. A lot of smiles for the Brandeis fans tonight as they start this drive on their own 2. And watch out, we could have a 98-yarder. Good speed by the Stevens defense to get him at the 48, but Christian Medina had all kinds of room. Unfortunately for him, Drayshawn McCullough had a little bit more speed and ran him down.
Well, I'm just mystified watching Brandeis, and I'm thinking, what a great dilemma for Coach Branscombe and his staff. Who are you going to get the ball to? Man, these dudes all can play. It's one guy after another, and every guy making the most of their touches.
Huge gain for Medina.
Yeah, that'll help the yard per carry average, huh?
49 yards there. Quarterback keep from the backup. Brett Marthas. And I'm sure, as Fernando Cruz makes the tackle, that Coach Branscombe is very content to pick up a few more first downs and, more importantly, run 30 seconds a pop here off the play clock and get out of here with a big W in district play, the first game of District 28 6A play.
I really had a good time talking with him before the game, as I do with both coaches. Just his philosophy. And he said, man, he was so bullheaded early in his career that you try to tailor everything to what you want to do and how you want to do things and how you want to run your offense. And he said, boy, it took me the longest time to figure out, you've got to figure out what you have and then tailor things to fit best with the personnel that you have. And boy, has he done amazing work here at Brandeis in the short time that he's been there. I mean, this team is absolutely rolling through 2 weeks. And, we talked about the Johnson game last week was as much fun as he's had as a coach, just watching how that all came together. He goes, you got some players, but you never know what's going to happen in week 1. And you're playing a quality team like Johnson, but all the things that you're teaching kids, you don't know if they're going to be able to go out and execute it. And the way they did, to take what was given to them and then go out there and do it, it just really made him super proud of what he's got with his team early on.
Jay Nova Rangel runs for another first down, another Kielbasa Smoke Meat first down as Drayshawn McCullough makes the tackle. Well, that was one of those games where You know, Johnson had high hopes. Ron Ritterman was talking to his preseason, said he had one of his better teams in years, and they still may end up that way. You know, it was an early week one.
Sure.
But yeah, you're right. For a Brandeis team to be led by a quarterback who's basically got no experience coming in as a sophomore, that had to be really encouraging for Branscombe to know that his kids could execute this. Rangel right up the middle for 4 more. Clay Englehart out of the game right now, but we profiled him pre-game, and he's also one of our Sprouts player profiles. Again, another straight A student, a 2-year letterman. Look at that, in football and baseball. Member of the National Honor Society, Athletic Leadership Council, and he volunteers for the Food Bank and Special Olympics.
Yeah, good kid, and we're really excited about the defensive line at Stevens and what they've got this year. And again, tough sledding tonight, but again, there's still a whole heck of a lot to play for at 28-6A.
Davila's running to the outside. Davila thrown down at about the 18, tried to get outside. Not quite, but he's in the Baptist Emergency Hospital red zone.
A really good job sliding and gliding again.
Crew doing a great job again tonight with all the cameras, all the shots of the spirit groups, and the ISOs and cutaways of the players.
Also talking to Coach Branscombe before the game, boy, he really talked fondly about his time in Belton. He spent a lot of years at Mary Hardin Baylor. He was a JUCO football player, and then it was at varying capacities at Mary Hardin Baylor. He said, of course, I left in 2015, and the next year we won a national championship. They've built one heck of a program up there in Belton, Texas.
Sometimes that's the way it happens. It's 52-14 Brandeis. Coming back with the end of this one. 5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter on TNL.
You're watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Taco Cabana.
Christian Medina on the carry inside the 10-yard line as we come back live. Under 5 minutes to go here on TNL. And this is one of those situations, Chuck, where we've seen it over the years. David Branscombe would rather not score.
Right.
But at the same time, it's tough to tell your kids not to run hard.
Right. You know, Conrad knows that too. I mean, he's been doing this a long time, and he's been on the other end of this as well against some teams. So, you know, it's still early on, but again, you know, 28-6A, you can't ask for a better start for Brandeis. And talking to Branscombe, you know, he said he just loves it. He loves that everything should count and have urgency. So away with zone play this year, and Brandeis certainly has looked the part in their league opener, but, you know, he's talked about the urgency and the way it should be. You know, you look forward to these kinds of things because this is the way it is in life. You know, you want to have every week, every day count for something. And he said, you know, we're a product of what we display, and they've really put on a nice display tonight. But it all matters, football and in life, and he's trying to preach that to these kids. And, you know, I'll tell you, they played with a sense of urgency tonight. I know he wanted them to get off to a better start, but I think in the final analysis, you know, you really have to sit back and go, wow, we had a really nice performance here on Hallmark U's Thursday Night Lights presented by Taco Cabana.
And they punch it in for 6 more as Brett Marthas, the backup quarterback, runs it right up the middle. That makes it 58.
And again, you get these snaps, and I'm telling you, you know Marthas is going to play a role for this team, a larger role, as you move forward into this season, because this is just the way it is. It's football. And so these snaps, they're meaningful right now.
Absolutely, they are. Lopez's kick is up and good. Be interesting to see if Lopez has outscored everybody else on his team tonight. We're coming back with the final 3 minutes after this. Welcome back. It's all Brandeis, 59-14 here in the fourth quarter with 3:34 to play. And Brandeis band fired up. The Broncos will go 1-0 in league play here.
And a quick 2-0 start to the season.
Xavier Lopez with 11 points, one short of his teammates Cardenas and Paik. He has been a busy kicker tonight. Taken at the 20, and Stevens takes it out past the 33, and we're coming back in 30 seconds.
It can get a little hot and sweaty out on the football field, but it shouldn't be hot and sweaty inside your house. If it is, contact Air Today Heating and Air Conditioning. Their reputation exceeds all others when it comes to service and quality. Mention this ad and Air Today will waive the service call fees. Air Today is an elite comfort maker dealer. Call 210-519-5959 and enjoy cool air today. Proud sponsor of Thursday Night Lights.
Welcome back. We're seeing quite a lot of substitutions for both teams. Stevens on their final drive. Martinez fighting for yardage, picks up about 6. And Chuck, you know what time it is? 3:17 left in the fourth quarter of a blowout. It's time for the gentle musings of the uniform czar. What are your thoughts on these two teams?
I like them, but I like most teams'
both
uniforms
are clean.
week to week.
I love the UCLA shoulder stripes on both teams. You don't see the UCLA shoulder stripe enough.
Okay.
Both teams doing it well tonight. Love the color scheme of Stevens and the fact that they've incorporated the gray pant. It reminds me of Georgia. You know, most of your colors are black and red, and instead of wearing white, you go in with the gray pant. That's good. I think the color scheme is great for the Broncos as well. I got a problem with both helmets, just minor helmet problems. The Falcons logo, they used to have the steel. There's the shoulder stripe. UCLA's made famous. LSU pulls it off as well. That Falcons, I'd rather see a logo than a name spelled out on the helmet. But that said, it's not bad. It's not horrible. It's just hard to read a little bit. It's got the claw of the Falcon going through it. Yeah, I'd like a cleaner logo there. And on that helmet, that bee's overweight. It's not a fat bee, but it's a bee that just needs to stop eating fast food for a few days.
It's a bee with child, Don. There's a difference.
It's just a little.
I think you've just insulted the bee.
No, I didn't mean to.
Okay.
It's just, it's just a little.
All right.
Its waistline is like a 38 and it needs to be a 34. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little big on the bee.
I honestly, every week I come to these games and I like what I see in front of me. I would sit here and rather listen to you just dissect what is going on because I cannot believe you pay that much attention to what's going on with the uniforms.
Some could say the same about me as the bee, right? We both let ourselves go just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's a good thing dad bods are in. We're good.
But it's a good look. I mean,
right?
It's good. It's not bad. The orange and blue is a good orange, is good blue. It's not anything offensive. Good color scheme. I think both teams get an A+. Helmets,
I think so too.
Just a little bit of work on the helmets on both sides, but the uniforms are great. Good job, Stan Lang and Northside for their implementation of these uniforms. Hey, San Antonio middle school and high school athletes are doing great things in our community. San Antonio sports and Methodist Healthcare are shining the light on teams that model key values through their actions. Parents, teachers, and coaches can nominate teams that go beyond the game. Just visit sanantoniosports.org.
Brandeis obviously content to run out the clock. It's been a well-earned victory tonight for the Broncos.
It's time for our Baptist Emergency Hospital collision of the game. And it's your guy, Chuck. Mark Lara, back from cancer a year ago, and he comes up and delivers our Baptist Emergency Hospital collision of the game. Good for him.
Yep, just a wonderful story, and to think of what that young man must have been through personally to try to get back and everything that he's had to endure. And just listen to his head coach, David Branscombe, talk about how much he's meant to this program and just the lesson that his teammates can learn from his own personal battle trying to get to this point, and how they had to scale him back on a lot of things because he was so anxious to try to get back. I mean, it's just a wonderful story, and you know, it gives me goosebumps just talking about it. Good for him, good for the Broncos. It's been a heck of a week, too, here on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights.
This one's in the books. The Brandeis Broncos over Stevens, 59-14. The team's shaking hands, and when we come back, we'll hand out the hardware, our Monarch trophies, to the champions of the night, and our player of the game. We'll announce all that when we come back to Gustafson Stadium on the CW35.
Welcome to the Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights postgame show, presented by Taco Cabana.
Welcome back. Brandeis a big winner tonight. Right now, it's time for our Night Office Solutions play of the night. It was a 3-play drive. This is play number 2. Joshua Suarez throwing deep for Pake. Brandon Pake on the reception, and on the very next play, Suarez would catch a touchdown pass. But when he's throwing it deep on the trick halfback option there, that is our Night Office Solution play of the night. Let's go down to the field with the champions, and time to hand out the hardware to Mike Hernandez. Mike?
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. All right, great game, guys. Wonderful, wonderful, both offensively and defensively. You guys put up some points, made some big stops. Give yourselves a big round of applause. So every game we pass out a couple of trophies, one for our impact player of the game, and the other, of course, is winning the Hallmark University trophy of the game, you know, so for winning the Thursday Night Lights. Your impact player of the game goes to Jordan Battles. Come on over here, son. How you doing? Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great. So look at the camera. Say hi to everybody. He had a pretty good game. He was 9 for 11, 208 yards, and five TDs. Way to go, bud. Way to go. So from my perspective, just watching, it just looked like you were just picking them apart all night. That they could not stop you.
Well, you know, I couldn't do it on my team. My offensive line played a heck of a game, and my receivers just made good catches.
Hell? Yeah, so Brandon Pake had a real good game too. Where are you, Brandon? Way to go, bud. You guys were playing pitch and catch there for a while.
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations to you. Thank you. Big hand for your quarterback, Jordan Battles. I have Coach over here. Come on over, Coach. Coach Branscombe's with us right now. How you doing? Now, how you feeling now?
Feeling great.
Yeah?
Feeling great. Proud of these guys.
Yeah.
And their work they put in. Really proud.
So at halftime, I talked to Coach, and I said, Coach, you know, what do you think first half? I got to tell you guys, he wasn't all that happy, even though y'all were ahead comfortably. You said you wanted to come out and you wanted to start fast in the second half, and I think you guys did that.
We did, and this is a great group of young men to coach. We have our good days and our bad, but their intent is pure, and they're one of the funnest groups I've ever had a chance to coach. So I'm proud of them, very excited for the work they put in.
And then you have, where's Mark? Where's Mark Lara? There he is. And really good to see you back on the field. How does it feel?
It feels great, honestly.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right. I mean, it feels unbelievable. Didn't think I'd be playing again, but here I am.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot of prayers from not only us, but from all over, from all over San Antonio, all over South Texas. So, it was great, man. And you You were laying some hits on those kids out there, man.
Thank you.
All right, well, good luck the rest of the season.
All right, thank
And how about a big hand for number 35? All right, come on over here, Coach, because I learned a long time ago, I don't want to get in the middle of this. I'm going to hand you the trophy. This is your Hallmark University Champions Trophy for Thursday Night Lights. Winners tonight, 59-14, the Brandeis. Here you go.
Congratulations to Brandeis. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this. Welcome back to Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. It is time for our highlights, brought to you by Associated Collision Center, your trusted professionals since 1976. It was tied at 14 when Brandon Paik caught his second TD of the game, 61 yards. And in the second quarter is when Brandeis really exploded.
Oh, indeed. It was just a little bit of everything. They ran it, they threw it, and I agree with Jordan Battles, but he was right the first time. With the play up front, it was a hell of a performance by the offensive line. I mean, these guys are doing everything and playing some defense too, a little of this, a little of that. It was Brandeis early and often in this one.
Suarez had a big night, threw for one, caught that to end the drive right before the half as they made it out to 38-14 and went on to win it 59-14. It was really close statistically after the first quarter, but after that, Brandeis had a couple of breaks go their way, and then you can see 536 total yards.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, no turnovers, and boy, were they precision-like on offense.
Next week, we got another one right back here at Gus, District 28, 6A. O'Connor knocked off Steele. They're going to play Jeff Robbins, the new coach at Warren High School, and the Warriors. This will be a good one as well. The executive producer of TNL is Dean Radla. Our thanks to our director, Brian Watts. Chris Kotfus, our producer. For Chuck McIntyre and Mike Hernandez down on the sidelines, and for our statistician extraordinaire, Mark Kusenberger. And the spotter tonight, young Jeffrey Horvater. I'm Don Harris saying thanks for joining us on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. We'll see you right back here next week for O'Connor and Warren. So long, everybody.